there's a lot of questions of, is this going to impact the name of the theater, the company? What does that look like?
Those are such good questions. And believe me, I've received several personal questions about that very thing because there's been so much confusion and some misinformation about that. We are St. George Musical Theater. We have been St. George Musical Theater for so many years, since about 1988, and will remain St. George Musical Theater. The name of the building, though, is what has been in question, and the name of the building will be the Diamond Legacy Theater.
So tell me a bit about that new name. Kind of what made you guys choose that name?
Yeah, that is such a great question, too, because we have really worked hard deciding on the name of that building, because we want to designate it as the place of one of the St. George Musical Theater's venues, because as you look right behind us, we also have the Performing Arts Campus. It's another location sponsored by St. George Musical Theater. Just as right now we perform in the Opera House, that is another location of St. George Musical Theater. We came up with the Diamond Legacy Theater as a result of one of our past board presidents, Diamond McPherson. Diamond and Darlene McPherson have worked for many years, particularly Diamond, with Bruce Bennett, our former executive director, and in making this dream of our own home a reality. St. George City has not had a theater of its own since 1865, when they first built the Opera House, and so now we're moving down Main Street and building this new theater, and Diamond and his family have been remarkably generous in funds, but especially in time and attention. He has served at least the last 9 years and been involved with musical theater long before that.
That's great. You just touched on it a bit, but yeah, overall, what are the main things Diamond McPherson has done that you feel you want to honor this building in his name?
Oh, well, I don't want to focus on money, but that's a big thing. And I know a lot of people are not very excited about naming a building after someone who is a generous donor, but it's done universities across the country, theaters across the country, so many entities. And so we wanted that as a way to honor him without taking away from any of the history of St. George Musical Theater. For example, we're going to have a legacy area in our foyer in the new building that's going to make sure that we honor Mark Ogden. He is the founder, the creator of St. George Musical Theater. Then next came Don and Donna Kenworthy. We wouldn't be here today without Donna and Don Kenworthy, and they are such amazing, gifted people. They worked so hard in building the theater. And then, when there were changes back many years ago, Bruce took up the reins and he said, I see a vision for St. George Musical Theater, and he's been working on it for the last 9 years. And he's been doing an amazing job. There are just so many moving parts at this point that we're just having to make some changes.
And who went into this decision making?
The board.
Okay. And did you all involve community input at all, staff input?
I really appreciate you asking that, because this is something that we would never enter into lightly. Bruce is a friend of mine. I've known him since he moved to St. George, and I so appreciate everything that he's done, but I recognize that there were some changes that need to be made going forward, because we are moving forward. We are seeing something really exciting come out of the ground that's going to change our community.
I know I spoke with some community members and performers who were sad to see Bruce go. Is there anything you're able to share about what went into that decision?
I can't really tell too many details. I have talked with several people just individually and saying, I am sorry for this decision, but and I can't really share details. That I want to protect Bruce's privacy. But this has been a long time coming. Maybe that's all I can say.
And will someone else be filling the role of president?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We need a strong leader, and we need someone who can unify everyone, our staff, our cast, our crews, all those talented people that live and work here in St. George and want to perform. You cannot believe the number of talented people we have in St. George, and the number that are now moving in that want to participate and hone their skills or have an opportunity to just perform. And we we think that we are the place for that.
Are there any decisions yet of who a next president might be?
Oh, I wish I could give you a definitive answer about that. No, no. But I can tell you, though, that we are working diligently to make that happen.
And then when was this decision made and how about the renaming of the theater?
Actually, the theater's never been renamed. Okay, the building is what you're talking about. So back, months and months ago, probably over a year ago, we came up with the name of Diamond. And he really has not been very excited about having his name on the theater, because he says it's not about me, it's about the community. And that's one of the reasons I love working with Diamond. He recognizes what this new theater will do for the community. It will be a legacy for all of us.
There's a lot of changes going on between leadership and the new building, and what would you say, or what do you picture for the future of St. George Musical Theater?
Oh, I have a great vision for our future. I've been involved since 1981, and yes, I am that old. But I see where we have been. I have followed our progress in all of those years, and I think that what's happening in the future is only going to be bigger and better, and that I think what we're looking for right now is we are looking for our casts, our crews, our staff, all of us to come together to recognize that this is bigger than any one person. It's our whole community, and we need the whole community. That's part of the joy of our St. George Musical Theater. It is St. George. It is our entire community.
And how do you want to see the theater grow?
Oh, I want to see the grow in so many ways. Thank you for asking that, because I have so many ideas about that. First of all, I would like everyone in Utah to know about St. George Musical Theater. I'm surprised at how few, I shouldn't say how few, but not enough know about what a fine quality of theater we offer right here in our own town. And so that's number one. I'd like everyone to know what is available for them. Secondly, I'd like our community members to come and see the talent that is here. These are non-professionals, but you wouldn't think that seeing them on stage. They act professionally, they sing like angels. Their dancing is amazing. Our choreography is unbelievable. And then all of the behind the scenes people, our set designers, our wardrobe mistress, all of those who come together to bring something out of nothing. We come up with an idea, and all of these people come together, and they make it into a fabulous production. You'd be welcome to come to any of them.
There has been some backlash following the announcement of the Diamond name. What would you say to those people?
I'm not sure that I've really had much backlash about that. I think that most people, when they think about it, they think, well, that is following a pattern that we see pretty much in every business, every school, that you have donor or donors who are remarkably generous, and they give financial contributions. But you know what I'd like to stress? More than Diamond's financial contribution is his time and his attention and his vision of what this will do for not just him, because it's not doing anything for him and his family except maybe hearing his name in the news, and he's not very excited about that, but he knows what it will do for all of us. And so he truly would like to leave a legacy for this area. I admire that. I think that is truly something worthy of respect.
And then tell me about this building. We can see it's being constructed. When can we expect it to open? What are the main features?
Oh, well, we are very excited about this. If you've been in the Opera House, you know that you can't go to the bathroom there, that you have to go to the building next door. This building will have lovely bathrooms, and a multitude of them, and they'll be in the same building. We'll have our ticketing office in the same building. We'll have a beautiful foyer where all of our community members can meet. Can I tell you the thing that is so exciting to me is we're going to have assigned seats, which we don't have now. And so you don't have to show up terribly early. You can come in, know where your seat is, slip in, and enjoy a wonderful show.
How would you say the community overall plays a role in supporting the theater?
without the community. And I say the community at large, but the community of our theater family, there is no theater. And so we come together. That's one of the beautiful things about theater people. We're passionate about what we do, we love what we do, and we come together. When it comes right down to it, we come together because we want to perform, we want to have people participate because it's life-changing. I've talked to so many people who have attended a show and they said, I can't believe what a difference that made in the life of my son, who wouldn't listen to me, but he listened to the messages that were shown on stage. Those kinds of stories can't be understated.
Great. Anything else I haven't asked you?
I can talk for hours about St. George Musical Theater because I love it. That's why I'm still on the board. I know where we've been, I know where we are, and I think I have a vision along with the other board members about where we're going. And I want to participate in that. It's going to be something marvelous to see. One thing that I did want to add to our conversation was that I have been so impressed with our casts and crews who have been so passionate in their response to a couple of recent events. And I respect that. I admire it. And I appreciate them reaching out to me or to other board members. Of course, everyone wants clarification. And I appreciate that. If I were in their spot, I would want the very same thing. Unfortunately, I can't give out any details about Bruce's termination, but I can talk about the Diamond Legacy Theater, and I'm very happy to entertain any of their comments. And I've received some great suggestions also from those who are asking where we're going from here, and they have given wonderful suggestions that of course we will talk about and discuss within our board. Yeah, unfortunately, part of what has been happening recently is a misunderstanding, which miscommunication, and I'm going to take part of that. I'll take part of the responsibility for that. We need to be better about communicating. But we had two very distinct issues that happened to coincide. And that, I think, has been what's confusing. So we publicly announced the name of the building, and just a few days later, that was when Bruce was terminated. And so I think many people feel that the two are connected, and they're not connected at all. They're two separate issues. Oh, Bruce has left a positive legacy. He's ridiculously talented. He can do everything. He has done everything. We want him still associated with musical theater right here in St. George because we need his gifts. We just want to use them in a different way.